Hey guys, good evening. Guys, if you are able to see my screen, just type S in the chat box so that we can get started. Okay, thanks for the confirmation, guys. So today we are going to start a new topic in core Java, that is modifiers and interfaces topic. So this is the last, in the next session, we are going to start Selenium Java automation, but it may take 1 or 2 sessions to complete this particular topic. Let's see how much time will it take. But for now, I'll start with modifiers, guys. Okay, what exactly are modifiers? I'm going to explain in this session. So let's begin. So what exactly are modifiers? It's one of the important topics. As usual, it's one of the important topics, guys. So what are modifiers? In simple terms, if I have to explain what exactly modifiers are, I'll just write down here. Modifiers, when specified before a variable or a method or a class, will modify their original behavior. Okay, modifiers when specified before a variable, method, class will modify their original behavior. Okay, so this is what modifiers are, guys. Okay, what are modifiers? These modifiers can be specified before variables, methods and classes. Okay, so when you specify different type of modifiers before different variables, methods and classes, right, they are going to change their behavior. Okay, the way they used to work will change. That's why we call them as modifiers. Okay, so modifiers are some kind of keywords, guys. You can say modifiers are some kind of keywords. Everyone type modifiers are keywords. Everyone type keywords. Modifiers are nothing but keywords. Everyone type keywords in the chat box. Modifiers are nothing but Java keywords. Java keywords on specifying these Java keywords, that is modifiers. Okay, these modifiers before a class or a variable or a method will modify their original behavior. So guys, what will happen when you specify the modifiers kind of Java keywords before variables, classes and methods? What will happen? Guys? What will be the result? On specifying the modifiers kind of Java keywords before variables or methods or classes in Java programs, what will happen to that variables, methods or classes? Yes, it will modify the behavior. Janavi, you are right. Change behavior or modify behavior. Okay. That's what exactly modifiers are. Okay. Everyone type in the chat box. Modifiers hyphen modify the behavior of variables, methods, classes. Modifiers modify the behavior of variables, methods and classes. Modifiers modify the behavior of variables, methods and classes. Modifiers modify the behavior of variables, methods and classes. There are some Java keywords. On specifying them before variables and methods and classes will change their behavior. Okay, so hope everyone got an idea exactly what exactly modifiers are in Java. Theoretically, it is very good. Modifiers in Java can be categorized. Now you understood what exactly modifiers are, but I told you, right, modifiers are like Java keywords. Okay, when specified before classes, variables and methods will modify their behavior. But how many modifiers are there? If you want to learn how many modifiers are there, we have to categorize. Okay, to understand how many modifiers are there, we can categorize these modifiers at a high level into 2 categories. First category is access modifiers, and second category is non-access modifiers. Everyone type in the chat box. What are the two high-level categorizations you can do? Access modifiers, non-access modifiers. Modifiers can be categorized at a high level into two things, two types. One type is access modifiers, other type is non-access modifiers. Everyone type in the chat box, access modifiers and non-access modifiers at a high level categorization. Okay, access modifiers and non-access modifiers. Modifiers at a high level can be categorized into access modifiers and non-access modifiers. Okay, great. So now coming to the access modifiers, these modifiers modify the access behavior, okay, accessibility related behavior of the variables, methods, and classes. Okay, in these modifiers, anyhow, modifiers when are nothing but the Java keywords when specified before variables, methods, and classes will modify their behavior of them or original behavior of the variables, methods, and classes. But access modifiers will modify which type of behavior. Access modifiers will modify which type of behavior of these variables, methods, and classes. Access behavior. Everyone type in the chat box. Accessibility behavior will be modified. Okay, access modifiers will modify the access behavior, accessibility behavior, or access behavior, whatever you say. Okay, the way you can access will get modified. Okay, based on the type of the modifier, access modifier you specify before variables, methods, and classes, right? Their accessibility will change. Whether you can access like this or like that will change. Okay, the behavior, original behavior of accessing will modify. Okay, that is access modifier. Coming to the non-access modifiers, they will change the behavior. Okay, non-access modifiers also are going to change the behavior of the variables, methods, and classes, but they are not dealing with the access kind of accessibility behavior. Non-accessibility behavior is also there. Okay, such kind of modifiers we can categorize under the non-access modifier. Okay, so first of all, under the access modifiers, we have different access modifiers. Like, I'll write down them one by one. First one is public access modifier. Everyone type in the chat box, public access modifier. Public, you can write public otherwise. Under the access modifier, the first type is what? Everyone type in the chat box. The first type is public access modifier. Yes, public access modifier. Then we have private access modifier. Private access modifier. The next one is what? Everyone type in the chat box, private access modifier or private. Anything is fine. Public, private. Then we have the third modifier as protected modifier. Protected modifier. Third one is protected modifier. Protected access modifier. Under the access modifiers, we have four types of access modifiers. One is public, second one is private, third one is protected, and fourth one is the default access modifier. Okay, fourth one is the default access modifier. Everyone type in the chat box default access modifier. Public access modifiers are nothing but access modifiers can be categorized as public, protected, private, and default, or public, private, protected, default, whatever you say. Okay, so these three modifiers have the keywords, okay, are nothing but the Java keywords. They are nothing but the Java keywords. And coming to the last modifier, if you don't specify anything, if you don't specify any modifier, it is not a keyword, guys. Default is not a keyword. Okay, if you don't specify any modifier, it becomes default. It becomes default modifier automatically. You don't have to explicitly type default there before a variable or class. It is not a keyword, guys. Okay, default modifier is not a keyword. Default access modifier is not a keyword. If you don't specify public, private, protected before a variable, it becomes default by default. Okay, it's not a keyword. These are all the Java keywords, but this is not a keyword. Okay, default access modifier is nothing but the modifier. If you don't specify any access modifiers, it becomes default access modifier. Okay, it's not a keyword, guys. It's a illusion kind of stuff. Okay, it's a imagine kind of stuff. Okay, it doesn't exist in the form of keyword. This is not a keyword. Where public is a keyword, private is a keyword, protected is a keyword, default is not a keyword. It doesn't exist actually, but we call it as a default access modifier. So, okay. So now tell me guys, what are the different access modifiers we have in Java? What are the different access modifiers we have in Java? What are the different access modifiers we have in Java? Public, private, default, and protected. Correct. Janavi, you are right. What about the other people? Everyone type. There are 4 access modifiers in Java. That is public, private, protected, and yes, Monica, you are right. Everyone type in the chat box. There are 4 access modifiers in Java. One is public, another one is private, another one is protected, and another one is default. Okay. Yes, correct. That's fine. Now coming to the non-access modifiers, we have total 3 non-access modifiers. We have how many non-access modifiers total? How many non-access modifiers are there? Total 3 are there. What are they? One is static. Then we have final. Then we have abstract. These are the 3 non-access modifiers we have. Static, final, and abstract. They are not related to modifying the accessibility of a particular variable, method, or class. They are about non-accessibility. Some other behavior it will change. Okay, static, final, and abstract are the non-access modifiers we have. Total how many modifiers are there, guys? Total how many modifiers are there? Complete total how many modifiers are there? Total 7 are there. 4 are into the access modifiers category. 3 are into the non-access modifiers category. Coming to the access modifiers, there are 4 access modifiers, that is public, private, protected, default. And coming to the non-access modifiers, we have 3 non-access modifiers, that is static, final, and default. Static, final, and abstract. Static, final, and abstract. So everyone clear with the different type of modifiers here? Modifiers can be categorized into access modifiers and non-access modifiers at a high level. Under access modifiers, we have private, public, private, protected, and default. When we don't specify any modifier, it becomes default. Okay, it's not a keyword. If you don't specify private, public, protected, or any other modifier, it becomes default. Whereas non-access modifier means static, final, and abstract. Non-access modifiers means static, final, and abstract. Great. Now let's get started with the access modifiers. So is everyone ready with access modifiers? Is everyone ready for the access modifiers I'm going to cover now? Just type ready in the chat box. Just type ready in the chat box so that we can. I'll start with the access modifiers, different access modifiers. Just ready or R in the chat box. Anything is fine. Just to show your energy, just type R ready in the chat box. So tell me whether you guys are ready for the access modifiers. Yes, I'm getting started now. That is access modifiers. We have public, private, protected, and default, as we already have seen. First one is public access modifier. First one that I'm going to cover is the public access modifier. What is the first access modifier that I'm going to cover? Public access modifier. Public access modifier. This public access modifier can be specified before a variable. You can specify this public access modifier before a variable. We can also specify this public access modifier before a method. You can specify this public access modifier before a method, and also you can specify a public access modifier before a class also. All the 3 items you can specify. Variables, methods, and classes. Okay, public access modifier can be specified before a variable, method, and class. All the 3 varieties you can specify. Public access modifier can be specified before variables, methods, and classes, guys. No problem at all. I'm going to demonstrate that. I'm going to practically show you that you can specify public access modifier before all the 3 varieties, that is variables, methods, and classes. Here I'll create a new package. I'll just name this package as modifiers package. I'll just name this package as modifiers package. Under the modifiers package, I'll create one more package known as dot access. Access means access modifiers. I'll create one more package that is non-access. 2 varieties, access, non-access. Under the access, I'll create a class. I'll just name this class as some car class, let's say, just any random class. I'm just saying car class, guys. Okay, car class, and click on finish. The moment I create a car class and click on finish, you see some code will be auto-generated by the Eclipse IDE. Which modifier is specified before this class, that is car class, which modifier is specified in the access modifiers, which modifier is specified. By default, Eclipse IDE is providing the public access modifier, specifying the public access modifier before this car class, right? Eclipse IDE is by default. When you create a class in Eclipse IDE, by default, Eclipse IDE is specifying which modifier, public. So what exactly public means? You can specify the public access modifier before a class, method, and variable. But what is that public means? You see, let's say you went to a vacation. Tell me, guys, what are the famous destinations that you go for vacations, either in India or in US, like beaches? Let's say beaches. Let's talk about beaches. Okay, you guys may have some, ultimate destination, right? Some beaches. Either it may be in India or it may be in outside the country. If you have any famous destination, just type in the chat box. What is that famous destination you guys think for beaches? Okay, Gokarna, Goa. What about other people? Miami, Half Moon Beach. That is in, yeah, Gokarna, Half Moon. Yeah, Gokarna. Lot of saying. Santa Monica. Manjir is saying Santa Monica, Michigan, Lonavala, Varkala, many Maldives. Shrikant is saying Maldives. Yes, there are many beaches. Okay, let's take one of the destination. Okay, Baker Beach. That's great. Lakshadweep, right? So we have a lot of beaches, right? But if you go to one location, guys, let's assume that you went to Goa. Okay, in India we have a place known as Goa, which is very famous for beaches. A lot of beaches will be there in Goa or Gokarna, whatever you say. Okay, do you think all the beaches will be public beaches? Do you think all the beaches in Goa are public beaches? No, right? All the beaches in Goa are not public beaches. There are some beaches in Goa. If you check into a particular hotel or a resort, then only you have the access to that particular beach. Let's say this is some beach here. Okay. In order to access this beach, you have to check into this hotel. If you check into the hotel and stay there for 1 or 2 or 3 days, right? Then you are eligible to access this particular beach. Normal general public cannot directly go and access the beach, guys. They are not allowed directly. Though most of the beaches in Goa are like public beaches. Public beaches, assume that most of the beaches in Goa are like public beaches, but few beaches maybe in Goa will be like, if you check into the hotel, that beach will be accessible, let's say. So that's what is any beach. For that, you don't need any extra access. Directly you can go and access the beach. Any beach that you can access without any check into the hotel or without any restrictions are called as public beaches, right? What do you call these beaches as? Any beaches that you can check in you can directly access without any permissions or of the local authorities or something, or known as public beaches. Okay, public beaches. You don't have any restriction. They're accessible to everyone. But there are some beaches which are not accessible to everyone. Only when to check into the hotel, you can access such kind of beaches. They are called as private beaches. Okay, here also in access modifiers, if you see, there are public and private. Public means public to everyone. Everyone can access. Okay, everyone can access. Private means only few people who are eligible for that can access. First, let's talk about the public access modifier. Public access modifier, when specified before a variable, method, or a class, will make these items public. Anyone can access. Within the project, even outside the project also you can access, guys. Okay, within the project or outside the project also you can access. Those are public access modifiers. Public access modifiers are the access modifiers which can be specified before a variable, method, and class. And on specifying this public access modifier before a class, method, or variable, right, you can access them publicly. Everyone can access without any restrictions. So here, public class car. Here, car class is of which type? Which access modifier is there before this class? Car class. Which access modifier is there? Public is there. And inside the car class, I'll create some variable, guys. Let's say public string model of the car. Okay, public string company of the car, public string color of the car, public double mileage of the car, public int wheels, number of wheels of the car. All are public. All these variables are also specified as public. You see, before the class also you specified public access modifier. Before these variables also you specified this public access modifier. Now these are global variables, guys. All these variables are local variables or global variables. To which type of variables you specified the public access modifier? I'll just remove these things, guys. I'll only put two things. It will become very big otherwise. Okay, then create this way. Two sample variables are there. These are global variables. Before which variables you specified public access modifier? Before global variables. Before the class and before the global variables so far. Now create a method public void start car. Start car system.out.println. System.out.println car started. I'll create one more method that is public void stop car. System.out.println car stopped. Okay, car stopped. Car stopped. So here you can see that. Okay, here you can see that this class is specified with public access modifier. These global variables are specified with public access modifier. These methods also which are inside the class are also specified with public access modifier. What if I say int a is equal to 5? This is a local variable or global variable? This particular variable a is a local variable or global variable? It is a local variable, right? It is a local variable. What if I provide public here? What is happening? I'm getting an error. What is an error? Illegal modifier per parameter a, only final is permitted. So here you cannot specify public before local variables. Can you specify public access modifier for local variables? Yes or no? Can we specify public for local variables? No. Only for global variables you can specify. The variables that are directly created under the class outside the methods are called as global variables. For them you can specify the public access modifier. For local variables you should not specify the public access modifier. Okay, I'll remove that. Just wanted to show you that. Okay, it's not possible to provide the public modifier or modifiers for the local variables. Generally we don't specify modifiers for the local variables. Only for the local global variables and methods and classes we can specify the public access modifier. When you say public means this particular class can be accessible by anyone. This particular variables can be accessible by anyone. This particular methods can be accessible by anyone. Okay. Now I'll create one more class within the same package. Within the same package, I'll create one more class. Otherwise, I'll create access new package. I'll just name this as access.1. Okay. Inside the one, I'll just move this car class. Say okay. Inside this package one, I'll create one more package. Say .2. There is a reason why I'm creating multiple packages here. Okay, here under the access, under the sub package one, we have this car, right? Which is specified as public, and variables and methods are also specified as public. Now guys, I'm going to create one more class known as demo class. With main method I'm going to create. Okay, just see here what I'm trying to do. Now tell me guys, this car class belong to which package? Tell me car class belong to which package? Car class belongs to which package? Car class belongs to which package? Tell me.
Modifier.
Guys. That is not the exact answer. Think and tell me.
One.
Modifiers dot access dot one. Grandparent package, parent package, and child package. 3 level packages are there. So car class belong to which package? Modifiers access one package. Modifiers dot access dot one package. Right? Whereas this demo class belong to which package? Same package or different package? Same package or different package? same package. Now demo class and car class belong to the same package. Now all this class variables and methods are public access modifiers specified. Okay, the variables are specified with the public access modifier, the class is specified with public access modifier, the methods are specified with the public access modifier. Now inside the demo class, which belong to the same package, inside the main method, if I want to access this class, what I have to do? If I want to access this particular class and using that class, if I want to access these variables and methods, what I have to do first is, what I have to do, guys? In order to access this class,
Object creation.
yes, object creation is the main thing. Okay, whenever you want to access the class, its variables and methods, then we have to create an object. Okay, we have to generally create an object. Let's create an object. How to create an object? Using which keyword I need to create an object, guys? Tell me. Using which keyword I need to create an object? New keyword. New keyword, we have to create an object. New, the name of the class is car class. And I have to give an object reference. Let's say car is object reference and say car. Car1 is equal to new car. Here car1 is the object reference. And am I getting any error here? Guys, am I getting any error here? When I create an object, am I getting any error here? Car1 is equal to new car. Am I getting any error here? No. That means car is public only, right? Since car is public, you can access it within the same package from a different class. Okay. Demo is a different class. Car is a different class. Demo is a different class. In a different class, you can access you can create an object. You can create an object for the car class. That means since car is just give me a second. Since car is, don't draw that, Arun, you are drawing something on the screen. Just don't do that.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
No problem. Okay. Since car is a public modifier specified, okay, since you have specified public access modifier before the car class, okay, and we are not getting any errors here because it is public access modifier, you can directly create an object for the car. And also this car class belong to the same package in which demo class is also. Demo class and car class belong to the same package, hence no errors are coming and you can access the car class. How can you say that you are able to access this car class? And because it is public modifier specified, so you can access it within the package, outside the package, anywhere you can access, within the project also you can access. So this proves that there are no errors, proves that when you're creating an object for the car class, are you getting any errors? You are not getting errors means you are able to access the car class here into a different class of the same package. So public is working fine. Now similarly, how to check whether these variables and methods are also specified with public access modifier? So I'll check something like this, okay? car1 dot model is equal to, okay, Benz or otherwise BMW, X3, I'll say X3 model, okay? X3 model. Then I'll say car1 dot company is equal to BMW company, okay? Now I'll print it out this system.out.println, system.out.println, car1 dot model, system.out.println, system.out.println, car1 dot company, then car1 dot start car, car1 dot stop car. You see, I'm able to access all the variables and methods of this car class. I'm able to access or not? Am I getting any errors anywhere while trying to access the variables and methods using the object reference of this car class? When you create an object using the object reference of that car class, when I try to access the variables and methods of this car class, am I getting any errors here? Am I getting any errors? No. That means public access modifier specified classes, variables and methods can be accessed within the package. Okay, within the package, there is no restriction. You can directly access. Run this code and see whether it is working fine or not. You see, X3, BMW, car started, car stopped, everything is working fine. Okay, we are able to access the class, variables and methods which are specified with public access modifier within the same package. If you create another class within the same package and try to access the class variables and methods in that particular class, it is possible because these are public access modifiers. Now the second question arrives is, what if I create one more class, but it should belong to a different package. It should not belong to the one package. It should belong to the two package here. I'll just name this class as sample class. With main method, I'll create. Click on finish. Now guys, again the same thing. Class is also specified with public access modifier. The way global variables are specified with public access modifier. The methods are specified with the public access modifier. Now we are here. We are here in the sample class, which belong to the same package or different package. Car class belongs to modifiers.access.1, whereas sample class belongs to modifiers.access.2. Same package or different package? Different package. It's a different package. When this particular class, sample class belong to a different package and car class belong to the same package. If I want to access car class inside a sample package, I need to create an object, right? I'll try to create an object. Car1 is equal to new car. The same example I'll take. I'll not do any difference. What is happening? Can I access the car class? Am I able to access the car class? It's public only, right? It's public. We should be able to access. You see, class is specified as public. We should be able to access.
Yes.
We should be able to access, but it belongs to a different package. It doesn't mean that it's not accessible. A lot of people have typed already no in the chat box, but that is the wrong answer. Why we are getting the error here is a different reason. It's a different reason. Public, I told you, right? If it is public, means anyone can access throughout the project. Within the package or outside the package, you can access. Public access modifier specified classes, variables, and methods can be accessed within the package or outside the package, no problem at all. Only the error, why we are getting the error is, since this particular car class belongs to a different package, an extra step is required. That is, we have to import. We have to import this car class from modifiers.access.1 package. You can write it manually here if you want. Import, you write the import keyword. A new keyword you are learning today. What is that new keyword? Apart from the public keyword, what is the new keyword we are learning here? Import is the name of the keyword. Import space, give the name of the package in which the car class is available. Give the name of the package in which car class. Everyone tell me, like in the chat box, what is the name of the package in which the car class is available, from where I have to import the car class from? Guys, I will tell you a very simple thing, guys. Okay. The simple thing is, let's say you are in India. Okay. Forget about this. Let's say you guys are in India. Okay. You guys are in India and you want to purchase a car. You want to purchase a car. That car can be purchased by anyone. Okay. In India, if you have money, anyone can purchase and go to the showroom and purchase that car. Okay. Let's say in India, if you want to purchase some car, like, any car, you say BMW X3 car you want to purchase, let's say. Can you go and purchase BMW X3 car in India? BMW X3 car, can you purchase in India?
Yes.
Yes, you can purchase in India and there is no problem at all. Okay, if you have money like around 60 lakhs or depending on the model, 60 lakhs or 1 crore or 1.5 crore or whatever it is the model you want to take, you can go there and pay them 60 to 70 lakhs and you can get the car home. Okay, BMW X3 car you can get, or X3 or X7 you can go. Okay, whatever the car. But what if you want to purchase a kind of car which is not there in India, which is in other countries, but you are eligible to purchase, but you have to import it. Got it? You are getting an example here. There sometimes on the roads you see different cars which are not generally sold in India. They are from foreign countries, right? We have to import it. Import that cars. We cannot directly purchase them, right? They belong to a different country. They are sold in that countries only. In our country, if the car is directly sold, we can go to a showroom and get the car home. We don't have to we don't have to import it if the car is directly sold in your country. But there may be some rare cars which can be purchased by Indians, but they have to import it. They have to pay the import duties and all the extra charges they have to pay. A lot of amounts. Anyone know any such kind of cars that are imported by the Indians from foreign countries? Anyone know in this group? Anyone know any particular car that can be imported from other countries and can be purchased by the Indians? Yes, Ferrari. For example, Ferrari. Ferrari is not directly sold in India. If you want to purchase Ferrari, you have to pay a lot of amount and you have to import. For importing also, you have to import it. Okay, you have to import the Ferrari from a different country. Okay, Rolls Royce. Yes, a lot of cars are there which need to be which can be imported from the foreign countries, but directly you cannot purchase. Same thing here, guys. If it belongs to a different package, means it belongs to a different country. If you want to use that particular class from a different country, even though it is public, even though it's purchasable, even though this particular car is purchasable, but it belongs to a different country, what we have to do in that case? We have to import this car in order to purchase in our country. Okay, in order to purchase from the different country, and we have to import it. It's open. Okay, that particular country is selling this Ferrari or Rolls Royce to all the other countries, but those countries have to import directly. It's not possible, but we have to import. Okay, so like this, from where I have to import? From that particular country. To which country this car belongs? To this particular country. That is modifiers dot access dot one country it belongs to. Under that, we have, from that we have to import the car. Got the idea now why we have to import from a different package? If a particular class is public but it belongs to a different package, it is like it belongs to a different country, like you're importing the car from a different country. The same thing you have to do it here in Java. Is everyone clear now? Is everyone able to understand why we have to import the classes from a different package now with this example I have given you? Yes, great. Okay. So within the same country, you don't have to write the import statement. You don't have to import the car. Directly go to the showroom and purchase the car. You don't have to import it. But if that particular car is sold from in a different country and you want to get to into your country, you have to purchase into your country, you have to import it. So the packages also will act like countries only here in this case of example. Within the your own country, you don't have to import it. If you want to purchase it from a different country, you have to import from that particular package. Modifiers.access.1, that car belongs to, from there you have to import. You see error is gone. So is it accessible? At least guys, is it accessible now? Just we have to import it. Importing is an extra step, but it's not, you cannot say it's not accessible. It's accessible. Okay, a lot of people have typed no in the chat box earlier, but it is accessible. If it is public, means whether within the package or without, outside the package, you can import it. But only the thing is that if it belongs to a different package or a different country kind of feeling, you have to understand, and you have to import it from that particular package, and then you have to use it. That's the only extra step. Okay, only extra step is importing. Got it? Great. Now, after you import this, you see accessible. It's accessible. Okay. So outside the package also it's accessible. Okay. Now you write down car1 dot. Now you do the same steps. Car1 dot model is equal to, let's say, any model for Ferrari, guys. Anyone know any model for Ferrari? Any models exist for Ferrari or Rolls Royce, whatever that is? I'm not having that much idea about that. I'll take that example here. Ferrari and a particular model will be there for Ferrari. Ferrari is a company, I think so. Car dot company is equal to car1 dot company is equal to, let's say, Ferrari. Any model for Ferrari? Anyone know? If you know, you type in the chat box. Otherwise, I have to find it out. Ferrari car models. Some Roma is there. I'll just take Roma for it because I don't want to spend a lot of time there. Yeah. Yeah, Roma, I'll say. For this, I got one model, guys, Roma model, that we have to import from a different country. So fine. And here, I'll just print out that system.out.println car1 dot model. I'll print it out. You are able to access the variables also. You are able to. Okay. Only extra step is that if it is belong to a different package, you have to import that from the particular class from that particular other package. And after that, you can simply use it in the same way. There's no difference in that. Okay. There is no difference in accessing them. Okay. Because they are public, you can access. Because they are public, you can access them. Car1 dot start car, car1 dot stop car, car1 dot stop car, like this. Okay, save this. Now run this code, right click, run as Java application. You should be able to print all the details: Roma, Ferrari, car started, car stopped. Okay, done. Clear everyone with the public access modifier within the package, outside the package is clear for everyone. Public access modifier within the package and outside the package is clear for everyone. Yes. Type C in the chat box if you guys are clear. I'll do one thing. Here I'll provide one more package, guys. After the access, I'll provide dot public. Okay. Invalid. You see, you cannot use public keyword here. Okay. Public modifier. I'll say public modifier, and I'll just okay, drag this one under the public access modifier, and what is the copy here? Why it's getting 1 minute? Car. So I have to name it differently. Just give me a second. I'll just rename this. Refactor rename. Public dot one. I'll say public modifier dot one. Just giving a big name. Continue. Okay. What is this? Copy is coming. Why? Yeah, this is not required at all anyhow. Here, what is there? Car demo is there. Yeah, inside one. And here, yeah, I'll delete this. Just give me a second why I'm doing that. You will understand. Because I have to explain one more modifier, that is private modifier. For that, I'll create another sub package. So refactor, if you want to rename them or rename, right, you have to go with the refactor rename every time. Access dot public modifier dot two, I'll say. So it will be okay. Say continue. Yeah. Access under modifiers, under access dot public modifier, we have 1 and 2. That's okay. Now I'm going to create under access. I'm going to create one more package. I'll just name this, instead of public modifier, I'll write private modifier. Okay, you will understand now why I'm doing like this. Public modifier already covered. Private modifier I'll cover now. Okay, I'll just close this. We should not be using extents. By default, we should not be using extents. Okay, whenever you want to access the variables, methods, and class which belong, okay, inside another class, you have to create an object only. You should not use extents. There is a reason where we have to use extents is when there are multiple classes, where the code is repeated, the same variables and methods need to be created in that multiple classes. In that case, that common variables and methods can be moved into a parent class, and the repetition of the code can be avoided in the child classes. Okay, by making this multiple classes using the same repetitive variables and methods, right? You have to move to the parent class. There only, in that case only, you have to use extends keyword. You have to make that particular class containing the common variables and methods as parent class and the remaining as a child classes. Okay, but this kind of cases only for one class purpose, you will not use extends keyword. Okay, extends keyword need to be used in a kind of situation where there are multiple classes where repeatedly you are writing the same duplicate variables and methods across the multiple classes. In that cases, instead of to reduce that repetitive code, you have to move that repetitive code to the parent class. Got it, Vishnu? Now when we have to use extends and when we have to create object is clear for you now, Vishnu?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay, not every time we have to use extends. Okay, whenever there is a need only, you have to use extends. Okay, remaining all cases, we have to create object for the class to access the variables and methods and class. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, welcome. Here, I'm going to create one package again. I'll just name this package as one package. Under the private modifier I'm creating, and two package also I'll create. Here in place of one, I'll say two, and two packages, 1 and 2 got created. In the one package or the private modifier example, I'll create a class here. I'll just name this class as, again, which class I can create. Animal class I'll take this time. Click on finish. Click on finish. Here, the next modifier is what, guys? I completed the first modifier. What is the first modifier I completed? There are different variety of modifiers. I'll just write this again. Just give me a second, guys. Here, I'll just write modifiers again with a different aspect. Modifiers can be categorized as two types. One is access modifiers, other one is non-access modifiers. This side I'll write access modifiers, and this side I'll write non-access modifiers, non-access modifiers. And coming to the access modifiers, there are 4 access modifiers types. What are the 4 access modifiers we have? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. First variety is public access modifier. Public access modifier. Can we specify public before variables, methods, and classes? Yes or no? Can we specify the public before variables, methods, and classes? Variables. Variables. You can specify public before variables, methods, and classes. All are eligible. But coming to the private access modifier, can we provide private access modifier before variables, methods, and classes? For classes, you cannot specify, guys. Only for variables and methods, you can specify. Only for the 2 items, you can specify the private access modifier, that is variables and methods. Can you specify the private access modifier before the classes? Answer is no. The answer is no, guys. Okay, private access modifiers cannot be specified before the classes. Private access modifiers cannot be specified before the class. Only for variables and methods you can specify. You see, whenever in Java, when you create a class, by default the class is getting created with private access modifier. To change it to private, what will happen? What is happening, guys? What is happening when I specify private before a class? Compiler error is coming. Illegal modifier. Everyone type in the chat box. What type of compiler error it is? Illegal modifier. Everyone type illegal modifier. Compiler error. Illegal modifier. Okay. Illegal modifier. Over the mouse on this, it's saying that illegal modifier for the class animal, only public, abstract, final are permitted. Some kind of message is coming, but you cannot specify private. It is indirectly saying. So I'll keep it public only, because for classes, I cannot specify private. Okay. For classes, we cannot specify private. If you specify private before the class, which type of error will come? Illegal modifier kind of compiler error will get. Okay. So everyone clear? Private cannot be specified before the class is clear for everyone. Just type C in the chat box if you understand. As per Java, you cannot specify classes with private access modifier. Okay. We cannot specify classes in Java with private access modifier. If you specify the class itself as private, then what you will access? What is the use of creating a class? Java is questioning you. Okay, why Java is not allowing you to specify private here? If you specify private, if it is a private, okay, for example, class is like a hotel. Okay, if you check into this hotel, then you can access the beach. Okay, the beach is like variables and methods, let's assume. If you are unable to check into the hotel, what is the purpose of, right? What is the purpose of the private beach there? Variables and methods are private, let's assume. Okay, private beach is nothing but variables and methods. But hotel is public only, right? Anyone can check in, go to the hotel and check into the hotel, basically. Okay, so like that, the class is an entity which holds some variables and methods of private type. But if the class itself is private, what is the use of creating the class? That's the reason, as per the rules and regulations of Java, class cannot be private type. If it is private, there is no use of creating a class itself. That's why Java will not allow you to create a class case. That's the reason why private cannot be specified before the classes in Java. Okay. No usage of creating the class if class is specified as private. Simple. Yes, correct, Rakesh. Fine then. Now the class cannot be specified with private access modifier, only public modifier. Okay. Public modifier. So then variables, what about variables? Can I specify the variables as private? Yes, I can specify. Let's say private int lex is equal to 4 or something, for example. Okay. Then private boolean tail is equal to true. Okay, let's write some sample things. That's it. Okay, don't take it seriously. These are 2 global variables which are specified with private access modifier. That's it. Now here, guys, here I'll write some private methods. Private void. Instead of public void, I'm writing private void. Private void each system.out.println. System.out.println. Animal is eating. if I write private void sleep system.out.println, animal is sleeping. Like that I am writing some code. Save this. These two variables are private. These two methods are also specified with private access modifier, but class cannot be specified with private, because private cannot be illegal modifier. Okay, private is an illegal modifier for class. Only private can be specified before variables and methods. Now I'm going to create another class inside the same package. I'm going to create another class inside the same package with main method to see whether, guys, if I want to access the class and its variables and methods which are in a different class, if I want to access the variables and methods which are part of a different class, in this particular class, what I have to do? In this particular class, what I have to do, guys? How to access the properties of another class? How to access the properties of another? By creating an object. Okay, that's always the same answer will be there. Animal is equal to new animal. I can do that, not a problem. Why? Because animal is of which access modifier specified? Animal is specified with which access modifier? Animal is specified with, animal class is specified with
Public.
which public. Public access modifier. So you can access it. Public means you can access it. Can I specify private before the animal class? Can I specify private before the animal class? No, that I told you, right? It's not possible. It's an illegal modifier. Okay. So anyhow, I'm able to access the animal. So this proves that since animal class is of public type, I can access it. But using this object reference, can I access these variables and methods of the animal class? Yes or no? The answer is simply no. System.out.println, animal dot. Am I getting that lex? No, error is coming. The field is not visible, is coming. System.out.println, if I write animal dot tail, you cannot access tail also. Can you say animal dot eat? You can access the eat method. Can you call the eat method? No. Can you access sleep method? The answer is no, guys. You cannot access the sleep method also. So why you are unable to access this lex, tail, variables and eat and sleep methods of this animal class? Why you are not able to access? As they are private. Private for what? Private for what, guys? My question is, yes, that is private only. Private for what? Private for what? Private to the class. Yes, you are right. Private for the class in which they are created. You can only access this private variables and methods within the class only. Outside the class, can you access? Within the animal class, they are okay. They are private for within the animal class only you have to access. Outside the animal class, you cannot access. They are called as private variables and methods because they are private to this, the class in which they are created. Outside the class, access is restricted. Access is restricted. Okay, fine. So now let's confirm whether we are. I'll create one method like this. Okay, it can be private method or public method, doesn't matter. Okay, I'll just create some method, guys. Okay, private or public doesn't matter. I'll just create some random public void sample method here. Public void sample method. This particular method belongs to the same class or different class? This particular sample methods belongs to the same class or different class? Tell me. Same class or different class? Yes, same class, right? This particular sample method belongs to the same class, same animal class. It doesn't belong to the demo class or something. So this particular method belongs to the same class means this particular private variables and methods can be accessed here or not? Yes or no? Can we access this private variables and methods of this class? Yes or no? In this particular method? Yes, we should be able to access. System.out.println lex, directly lex. You don't even have to create an object because this particular method also belongs to the same class. Do you have to create an object to access this lex? Do you have to create an object? If this particular method belongs to the same class, do you have to create object? Not required. Okay, directly you can access. System.out.println tail, I can access. Then if I want to call the eat method, I can call the eat method. If I want to call the sleep method, I can call the sleep method. You see, done. Everything is perfectly working fine. This method can be public or private, doesn't matter. If it is private also, not a problem. You see, still you can access. If it is public also, not a problem, you can still access. Okay, But this particular method should belong to the same class in which private variables and methods are created. Then only you can access the private variables and methods of this class inside the same members of the class. But outside the class, you cannot access. Outside the class, you cannot access. This is not possible at all. Now the thing is, I'm able to create an object for the animal class, which is public type, but the variables I'm not able to access or the methods I'm not able to call. Instead, what I did, what is the idea I got? Instead, what I did is, since I am not able to access these private variables and methods, okay, outside this animal class, I'm not able to access these private variables and methods. What I got an idea is, what if I create a public method inside the same class and using this object reference, if I call this sample method, can I access sample method? Guys, can I access sample method here outside the class? Why I can access sample method? Tell me why I can access sample method outside the class. Why I'm able to access the sample method? Because it is public. But this public method is accessing the private variables of this particular class, and public method also belongs to the same class. You are able to access. It is able to access within the class. So indirectly, I'm accessing the variables and methods of this class. Yes or no? By calling the sample method, indirectly, I'm accessing the variables and methods of this class. Yes or no? Right? You see, this will work. Directly, you cannot access the private variables and methods of this particular class by using the object reference. Directly cannot access. You have to create one more public method inside that class containing the private variables and methods, and access that private variables and methods inside the same class, inside the public method, and then you can call that public method outside the class. This is the way, guys. If you run this, you will get this output, guys. Okay. If you run this code, you see you are getting the output. So I tricked the private variables, right? It feels like I tricked the private variables by creating a public method. Since they are not allowed to be accessed directly, I'm able to access it indirectly using the public methods, right? Able to understand, guys? Able to understand what I am done? Directly, you cannot access the private variables and methods outside the class. Indirectly, I'm accessing. Okay, by creating a public method inside the animal class. Inside the public method, I'm accessing all the private variables and private methods. And by calling that public method, automatically these variables will be accessed now. Okay, I got the output. Whatever the output I want, 4, true, animal is eating, animal is sleeping, everything got printed. It felt like I will not be able to access. But if that particular class containing the private variables and methods has a public method, using that public method as an indirect way, we can, okay. Let's say, guys, there is a kingdom. Okay, let's assume that there is a kingdom. In the olden days, there used to be kings, right? Kings used to rule the countries and all, okay? The places and all, okay? There's a kingdom. So the kingdom generally has a proper way, okay? Directly. So you cannot, you see only the people who are eligible can access this. But if there is some secret way, you can go like this, right? That's what we have done here. With the help of this public, we know a different route where we can go and, access the private access modifiers, specified variables and methods, okay, outside the class. Okay, directly you cannot access, indirectly we can access. Okay, so there is a concept, object-oriented concept behind this. I'll tell you what is that concept, guys. There is an object-oriented concept behind this. That concept is called as encapsulation. Everyone type encapsulation in the chat box. What are the different object-oriented concepts I covered so far? What are the different object-oriented concepts I covered so far? First one is object. This one, second one is class. Third one is polymorphism. Polymorphism is a object-oriented concept. How I explained the polymorphism? Using overloading and overriding concepts. Then next one is what? Inheritance. Child class can inherit the properties from the parent, or parent will give away the properties to the child, okay, whatever the inheritance you call. After that, I told you that there are 2 more items left out. What are the 2 more items? Encapsulation is one thing and abstraction is another one, right? Encapsulation and abstraction are 2 more object-oriented concepts left out. I am now talking about encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? I am going to cover now. Encapsulation is a mechanism in Java where, okay, generally, do you know about this particular thing known as a tablet? Everyone knows this kind of tablets will be there in the market. Everyone take medicines, right? Whenever you got up with some illness or whatever you have, right? You generally go to medical shop, and according to your whatever the problem you are facing, you will get some medicine. Okay, from the medicine, some medicines you will get it. Okay, so there will be some small kind of granules will be there. Okay, inside the tablet, some small granules will be there. These granules are nothing but the private. These granules are nothing but what, guys? The private variables and methods are these granules. These small dots are there, right? Some granule kind of medicine are there, right? They are nothing but private variables and methods which are encapsulated inside the wrapper kind of. Some wrapper will be there, some plastic wrapper or okay, some plastic wrapper kind of tablet wrapper will be there. Some, it looks like it's a edible kind of stuff. Okay, you can take it. It's not a plastic thing. It is an edible type of stuff. It looks like some colorful and all, and you can take it inside. When you have this particular tablet in your mouth, okay, when you take that out of the tablet strip, right? Can you access the granules outside? Can you access the granules outside? Before you consume it, can you access the granules outside? No. Once you intake this capsule, what will happen? Once this capsule goes into your stomach, what will happen? It will open up or not? In your stomach, it will open up or not? These private things will come out, right? Yeah, wrapper will dissolve in your stomach and the granules will come out. The things that used to be private are no more private, right? Once this capsule goes inside your stomach, is the capsule, is this private variables and methods still private? No, right? Outside they are private, and that concept is called as encapsulation, guys. Okay, when the particular capsule is outside, before you consume it, it acts like a, this wrapper will act like as a restriction kind of stuff. Once you take into your mouth and it goes into your stomach, in your stomach all these granules will come outside, the wrapper will dissolve and the private things will no more be private. That means your stomach is able to access these granules, but outside you are not able to access, but your stomach is able to access the granules. Okay, able to get my point? This kind of strategy is called as encapsulation strategy. Outside they are private. Once the capsule goes in your stomach, it becomes, the private variables can be accessible in your stomach. The capsule will get dissolved, wrapper of the capsule will get dissolved, and private variables will come outside. Other variables and methods will come outside in your stomach. This concept is called as encapsulation, guys. Encapsulation. What is encapsulation? I'll explain that in a different way. Don't worry. I'll explain encapsulation using some definitions and all. I generally don't use definitions, but in this case, I'll need some definition. Okay. So just see the chat GPT and what type of definition. What is a definition for encapsulation in hooks concept in Java? Okay, let's get some official definition. Encapsulation is a fundamental concept in object-oriented programming. Think about the capsule, guys. Whenever I'm reading about this particular text, right? Think about the capsule outside your mouth before you consume it orally. The capsule has this private variables and methods wrapped inside a wrapper. Okay, you cannot touch those granules. But once the capsule goes inside your stomach, the wrapper will get dissolved and these capsules will come outside. This this private stuff, which is kind of granules, will come out of in your stomach and will act like a medicine, right? Same thing here, you understand with that example. Encapsulation is a fundamental concept in object-oriented programming, that is OOP, that refers to the bundling of data, variables and functions, that is methods, variables and methods that operate on the data into a single unit or class. Okay, they are wrapped inside like a wrapper. This wrapper is like a class, case. Okay, whatever the black color border you are seeing for this wrapper, right, that is like a class. All these granules are nothing but variables and methods, private variables and methods. This wrapper, which is wrapping out this variables and methods privately, as a private it is making, right, that wrapper is a class and it's binding the data and methods. Okay, encapsulation is a fundamental concept in object oriented programming that refers to the bundling or binding of variables and methods into a single unit known as class. That is one part. That is one part of encapsulation. Everyone thinks this is only one part. Okay, I have if you ask some people outside there what is encapsulation, they will tell you that binding of the variables and methods inside a class is called as encapsulation. Is that full answer or a partial half answer? Those are half-baked answers. Okay, those are half-baked answers, guys. It's a partial answer. You have not completed your answer. You have not completed your answer. So if you ask a lot of engineering students also, they are in a confusion state because they don't know what exactly is encapsulation. Most of the people think that encapsulation is nothing but binding the variables and methods inside a single entity or unit known as class, they will say. But that is a partial answer. What is a full answer? This, I'm not saying that this answer is wrong. This answer is partial answer I'm saying. What is the full answer? It also, this part is explaining about the remaining answer. It also involves restricting direct access to some of the object's components. Direct access is not possible, even though the class is binding that very private variable side methods, but direct access is not possible to that, which is as a means of preventing unintended interference and misuse of the data. In Java, encapsulation is achieved using access modifiers and getter and setup methods. That means you cannot directly interact with the variables and methods of the class, but indirectly you should be able to do that. Getting my point, guys? Inside the capsule, you provided some granules. Those are private variables and methods. That wrapper, which is capsule wrapper, is nothing but the class. When the capsule is outside your mouth, before you intake or consume into your mouth or into your stomach, okay, it is restricting you to open the granules, to touch the granules with your fingers. Only the wrapper you can touch, only the class you can touch, because class is public there, but granules are private. But once you consume the tablet into your mouth, once it reaches your stomach, the wrapper will get dissolved. Indirectly you are accessing the variables and methods or not, which are there inside the wrapper, because wrapper is getting dissolved inside your stomach. So that means how that entire thing you have to see as encapsulation, guys. Okay, direct access is restricted, indirect access is possible. That is what is encapsulation. Indirect access is like stomach example. Stomach is indirectly accessing the granules. Once the capsule reaches your stomach, the granules are coming outside, then you are able to access the granules. It's not saying that you cannot never access the granules, is not the case. You can access the granules, but only when the capsule reaches your stomach you can access. Indirectly you are accessing. So how that is possible, guys? Tell me. I'll tell you one example here. Okay, the real world example is done. The actual example, you see there is a class. The class contain, let's say the class contains some variables. This is one variable, this is another variable, this is one method, this is another method. All these are private variables and methods. Let's assume these variables are like, assume that these four are variables only. Let's assume methods or variables, whatever you imagine. Okay, this outside box is a class. Inside that box, what are there? Four variables are, some two variables, two methods are there. All are private type. All are which type? Private. Now what I am doing, I am creating one more member of this particular class which contains these private variables and methods. I'll make this particular member as public. These are private, these are private, these are public, these are public. Now by using this public, can I access this directly? Can you access these variables directly? Can you access these variables and methods outside the class directly? Can you access the variables and methods outside the class? No. The answer is directly it is not possible to access the variables and methods outside the class. But indirectly, by using this public method, can you do that? By using this public method, can you access these variables and methods outside the class? Indirect. Yes. This concept is called as encapsulation. Now you got it, guys. What is encapsulation? It's not just about binding the private variables and methods inside a class, but it's also about accessing the private variables and members of that class by using indirect way. Direct access should be restricted, indirect access should be possible. That is what is called as encapsulation. Everyone know clear what is encapsulation means? Is it clear, guys, what is encapsulation means? Binding the private variables and methods to the class, and then thereby restricting the direct access and allowing you to access them indirectly using some public methods, etc., is known as encapsulation concept. Directly you cannot access. Directly you are not allowed to access the private variables. For example, you have a car, guys. Okay, you have the car. Okay, let's say you have a car. Okay, directly Can you open the engine directly, or your mechanic will open that generally? Who will open? Via mechanic, you will open the engine of the car. But you will start the car, you will stop the car, everything you will do it directly. But coming to some private things like, engine or some sensors or something, right? Even our mobile phones, guys, okay? Even our mobile phones, if you go some parts of the mobile phone, you cannot access directly. You have to go to the mechanic, the one who can repair your mobile phone, right? When your mobile phone gets into a problem, you have to take it to the appropriate mechanic person or engineer person who can actually have the access to such kind of components of that particular thing, right? So indirectly we are taking care of. This is called as encapsulation. This is called as encapsulation. Direct access is restricted to the private variables and members of the class. Indirect access is allowed to whoever it is possible for. That is called as encapsulation. So I'm going to give you one example for encapsulation, guys. I'm going to give you one example. Now you understood that you cannot directly access the private variables and methods of the class anyhow. You see, if you try to access this, here also the same thing, right? Here also the same thing. Just give me a second, guys. Just give me a second. Guys, can you hear me? Just type X in the chat box if you are able to hear me. Okay, fine. Let's resume the session. So I was talking about encapsulation, right? So let me explain that with an example. So here in this particular case, we are already implementing that encapsulation because this animal class is having some private variables and methods. We cannot directly access this private variables and methods, right? You can see here when I say animals dot, if I uncomment this one, you can clearly see that this Lex is one of the private variable. I cannot access it directly, right? And tail is also another private variable. I cannot access this directly. Eat method or sleep method, both are private variable, private methods. I cannot access them directly, but indirectly with help of a public method inside the same class where private variables and methods are there, I'm able to access. So this concept is called as encapsulation. So how people will use encapsulation in real time, I'm going to show you. They use something known as setter and getter methods. So you should not be able to access the variables and methods directly. Rather, you have to use you have to take the help of indirect way of some public methods or something, getter and setter methods, to set the value to the variables and to get the value of the current variables, okay? Current value of the variables. So I'm going to show you what exactly I mean. Here, I'm going to create a new class. I'll just name this class as bank class. Finish. And inside this bank class, I'm going to, or else I'll create an employee class. That will be more better. I'll rename this file name to employee. Here, I'll create a private variable, private int salary, I'll say. Okay. I'll say private int salary. Now, if I create one more class here, I'll just name this class as some demo class, some external class, say demo or sample, whatever you want to create, you create here. And with main method you create. Now tell me guys, can you assign some value to this salary variable from outside the class? Is it possible? Guys, is it possible to assign some value to this salary variable directly from outside the class? Here I'll try to create an object for the employee. First of all, employee is equal to new employee, right? This one I can do because this class is a public class. Inside this public class, we have a private variable known as salary variable. Now, if I want to assign some salary value, okay, here I'll give the value as lowercase s, guys. Employee dot salary. You see, I'm not able to access. You want to set the salary like 5 lakhs, let's say. Okay, I'm getting an error. It's not possible to set the salary because this variable is a private variable. So what I have to do, guys, I cannot directly change the value of the salary variable, which is private. So what I have to do, I have to take the help of some getter and setter methods. So what I will do here is I'll create a public void set salary kind of method I'll write. Okay. You can give any name. I'm just giving, generally people will give, the proper names. Okay. And here I'll say int salary and simply say this dot salary is equal to salary. Then I'll write like this. Okay. So I'll set the salary to this particular salary variable using this public method. Okay. Now I cannot directly set the value to the salary variable, which is private variable type. Rather, I'll use this public method to set the salary. So what I will do here is instead of directly saying employee dot salary is equal to something, instead of that, I'll just call this public method inside this class containing the private variable set salary. And here I'll set the salary to, sorry, here I'll set the salary to, let's say 5 lakhs. Okay. Now you see I'm not getting any error. Here what happens when you call this set salary public method, this 5 lakhs will go into this salary and 5 lakhs will be assigned to this particular salary indirectly. Directly you are not able to access this salary variable, but indirectly with the help of this public method, you can update or set the value for this particular salary variable. Similarly, if I want to get the value of this current value of the salary, I'll simply write down public void get salary. And here, when I call this method, I'll just return salary here. And here return type is, I'll say int, that's it. Now, I cannot directly write here like system.out.println employee dot salary, I cannot write. I'll get an error here. You cannot directly access this variable. Then how to get the current value of the salary? To get the current value of the salary, I'll simply say employee dot get salary. That's it, guys. Okay. Now run the code. Whatever the value that is set, that will be returned to you. But no output will be printed here because the return type of this get salary is int type. So you can say int, or you can directly print it out. System.out.println. This employee dot get salary, you write inside the print statement. That will be enough. Okay, the return type you have to print whatever the value this particular method is returning to this method calling statement, right? That you are printing it out. Then you'll get the output in the output console. You see, you got the output. Okay. Whatever the value you set, again, if you set another salary, you cannot directly access this private variable. Indirectly by using this public methods, you can access the salary. Okay. Set salary to some other salary. Let's say 10 lakhs. And here, after updating that to 10 lakhs, if I say system.out.println, if I say employee dot get salary, that's it. The current value of the salary will be coming, that is 10 lakhs will be printed here. Okay. So this concept is called as encapsulation, guys. Encapsulation is nothing but a class binding some private variables and methods or etc. private members. Okay. Some private members will be binded by the class. But in order to access them, you cannot directly access the private variables outside the class, but indirectly with the help of some public getter and setter methods, we can access the private variables, etc. Okay. And this kind of concept is called as encapsulation, binding the private variables and methods inside the class and restricting the direct access to that particular components of the class and allowing it to access them using getter and setter methods or using some other access modifiers inside the same class like public, etc. That concept is called as encapsulation. By declaring the class variables as private, you restrict direct access to them from outside the class. This helps in protecting the integrity of the data. So only way is that only the people who can access, but everyone cannot access it directly. So data hiding is happening here clearly. Maybe this kind of getter and setter methods, let's say only the HR people have the access. The remaining people cannot change the value. Okay, something kind of stuff. Okay, this access to this particular methods can be given to some kind of people. Okay, who have the access. Not everyone can access that kind of methods to update the salary or to change the salary or to get the updated salary. Okay. So other thing is that we are protecting the, we are avoiding the easiest way to, if I don't provide it private, right, you can easily update the value of the salary, guys, and that will get updated like anything without any control. So we are providing some control to this private variable so that the value of this private variable should not be changed directly. If it has to be changed via indirectly only, you have to do it. Okay, indirectly using some methods only, so that directly accessing and directly some level of protection is there, like some kind of data modularity is there, where you cannot directly go and change the value of that particular element. Rather, you have to, if you have to do, you have to take some extra effort of using that public methods and then go and update the values of that particular variables, etc. Okay, cannot directly change the values of that particular variables, etc. Indirectly you have to do that. That extra effort has to be put, so that people will not take it very simply and then go there and update the values of the variables. So hence such kind of variables need to be provided as private. In real time during Selenium automation also we'll do the same thing, guys. When we create some XPath expressions in page object model kind of design pattern, right, we also create those XPath expressions as private thing. So if you want to update that using some method only, you have to access them. Okay, directly there is no way to go there and update the value of the XPath expressions. Okay, so in the upcoming sessions, when we create a framework and all, right, you will get this actual implementation of this private variables and actual implementation or actual usage of the encapsulation in your Selenium automation frameworks, etc. Okay. Encapsulation is a key principle in OOPS that helps create more secure, maintainable, and modular code by controlling access to the internal state of the objects and exposing only necessary components. Okay, that is what is encapsulation. So everyone clear with this? Encapsulation concept is clear for everyone? Page object model and page factory design model. Okay, we'll come across this kind of encapsulation concept. I'll explain that later. Okay, during the framework concepts I'll explain, but at least you got an idea, right? What is an encapsulation, what is public, what is private is clear. Private is only, private variables and methods can be only accessed within the class. They cannot be accessed outside the class. Whether that particular class is outside the package or within the package doesn't matter. Only up to that particular class level only the variables and methods which are private type can be accessible within the class only. Outside the class we cannot access them. If you still want to access, we have to use this kind of encapsulation kind of concept, where we have to create some public kind of methods, and using that indirect way we have to access the private variables and methods of the class. Okay, that is what is encapsulation, and that's what is private access modifier. Public access modifier, I already told you, right? They can be accessed outside the class also, outside the package also, everywhere. Okay, but private access modifier only within the class we can access. So if this concept is clear for everyone, just type C in the chat box.
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yeah, Madhuri.
So based on this private modifier, we are assigned to the salary, right? So based on that, only it is setting the new value to every time.
Yes, you mean to say this particular method, right?
Yes, set it.
Yes.
Yes.
Directly you are restricting the access. Okay. For example, here originally some value is there. Let's say 1 lakh is there. Let's assume that some 2 lakhs is there otherwise. Okay. 2 lakhs is there. Okay. Now, if someone want to change this value directly, right? Is it possible to directly? No. That's not possible. Okay. Via the public methods inside the same class, right? We are doing that. Okay. So this is called as encapsulation. Okay. Direct access is restricted. Directly updating the value is restricted. Via something only we have to update. That kind of thing we are developing, that is called as encapsulation. Got it?
Yeah. So based on this scenario, we can assign a new values to the salary. Right?
Using this particular method, you can set a new value. If you want to get the value, you have to get only via this method only. You cannot directly access this and get the value again.
Okay. It is not going to override. It is fixing a very new value to the salary every time. Got it.
What do you mean by overriding here? You see, the value of the salary will be updated. If you call this particular method 10 times, what will happen? The latest value that is set, right, that will be assigned to this variable. Right? That's what. Okay. So because if tomorrow, if your HR want to increase your salary, okay, you want to give a hike, okay, they will set the salary like this. Okay, they'll call this method and previous salary will be like this, and they will set this, they will call this method and give a different value there, and your salary will be updated to the latest value. Okay, simple.
Yeah, got
Whatever
it.
we have done
Thank
here, 5 lakhs and 10 lakhs, so whatever the thing. And this particular methods, right, there is a way to, automatically get it. Okay, you don't have to write it manually if required. If you feel that
Yes.
this getter and setter methods, if you want to automatically generate, right, you have a private variable inside this employee, right? I'll close this. Once this particular class is active, right, go to the source. 1 minute, let me find it out. Source, and here generate getter and setters. Can you see this option in Eclipse ID?
Yes, that's I know.
Select that option. It will ask you
Yes.
which one you want to generate the getter and setter methods, because
But
salary is of
class.
private, so it is giving that option. Generate,
So-
automatically it will come. You don't even have to write that. You see, set salary has come, get salary. Here I have written manually, right? Here you got automatically. Okay, it's not compulsory to automatically write. Okay, manually write. You can automatically also generate from the Eclipse options. If you are confused, right? If you are not sure like how to create this, then you can take the help of Eclipse ID, and here simply select this under the source tab, source menu. You have this generate getter and setters are there. Select that, and it will give you the appropriate option. Select that, and you can auto generate also. Okay, so Eclipse ID is so smart that it can auto generate it for you in a proper way. Okay, if you have hundreds of private variables also, you can generate hundreds of getter and setter methods for that. Just go to source, select getter and setter methods. You see there are no fields already. The generation is happened, right? If there are nothing, then it will generate. Otherwise, it will not give you an option. Okay.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Fine. Any other questions, guys?
Hi, Arun, Ashish here.
Yeah, Ashish.
So I think last time also when we discussed this topic, I had a same question. How we are controlling this private variables, because anyways using the setter method, we can still able to update it, right? So what is the use of making it
directly
private?
you should not. You see, only concept is that it's not about completely restricting. It's about directly restricting is important.
Then what exactly
Directly
benefit
you
it
should
is
not.
giving?
What benefit
And
means, if, for example, different cases, different benefits will come. If you talk about Selenium automation, right? Suppose I created in one of the class, I created an XPath expression. Okay, private some XPath expression have written. For example, assume that in our framework. Okay, private some XPath expression is there. My actual test classes will be there, right? Where I will be writing our Selenium automation scripts, right? The test classes should not be able to access these XPath expressions directly. Got my point? I should not be accessing this XPath expression by .xpath. I should not be writing anywhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is fine.
Rather some methods which will be surrounding this XPath, right? Click on that element or something, right? They will be created inside the same class where XPath is made private, and remaining all public methods will use that XPath expression. Only you should be able to access the public methods and get the task done. Here, data hiding is being done. That is one of the advantage. Another advantage is like restricting the direct access to this particular variable. Indirectly you can access, but directly you cannot access.
Yeah, that I understood. But the only question which comes into my mind is like, anyways, if we are allowing it to reset it through this setter method, then what is the making of use of making it private? I mean, anyways, we are able to change it, right? So that is
Okay.
some kind of contradicting the question in my mind, like why it is that so. Like even though we are able to change it through indirectly way, we are able to change it, right, through outside also.
Okay.
Then what is the make of you making it private?
Okay. So the simple thing is that not everyone will have this access. It depends whether I want to give you this access or doesn't matter. Okay. So some classes may have the access to this get salary and set salary. Other people may not have the access. Got it?
Okay.
I can
Yeah,
do
yeah.
like that. That you see, simple thing is that directly access if it is not there, right? Indirectly, we can make the, for example, there may be some, if you talk about real applications, let's say, okay, let's say there is a HRMS kind of software is available. Let's assume, okay, in that normal user will be there, HR user will be there. Who should be able to update this salary?
HR person only.
Okay, for HR person only, this will give this access. This methods will give in that particular application.
So that means in the actual code, the access will be, the code will be written in such a way like it will be
Yes,
accessible
HR
only for
person will
the.
directly use this, and this will be like that variable will be there, but no one can access it. Okay, other people cannot access. HR people will have this functionalities which when you click on some buttons or something, right, they will call this particular methods. Let's assume.
Okay.
Okay, so we can restrict like that. You see, it all depends how you imagine. Okay, so there is no perfect answer for this. Whatever you are asking is right. I agree, but the flexibility is there. Okay, so what kind of
Yeah, yeah.
flexibility to what level of flexibility is up to you. Okay, but the encapsulation is something. This is what is encapsulation. Okay, directly you cannot access. Indirectly you have to make it access. Why? And how it will beneficial? There are a lot of answers for that. Okay, if I go to Selenium automation, there is another answer. Okay, if I go to this HRMS software, there is another answer like that. Okay, it all depends on. Okay, got
Okay.
it?
Fine. Fine, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Fine.
Here,
Yeah.
yeah, so I heard you mentioning about some buffer names and everything. So what is this buffer names actually?
Where did I mention?
Like when you was talking about this private access modifier, right? I heard like somewhere I heard like you mentioning like buffer names, something like that. Not sure, like
No, I didn't say buffer names.
okay, okay, all right.
Maybe you have had it in a wrong way. Okay, that's
Okay,
all.
all right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, simple thing, guys. Directly, it should restrict the variable to get updated. Okay, outside by just creating an object and accessing the variable should be restricted, but indirectly should be possible. That is encapsulation. Okay, that concept is encapsulation. So how encapsulation is coming to use and all benefits, improves maintainability by hiding the internal state and declaring through methods only we can do that. Okay, without affecting other parts of the code. Enhances security. You see, the another imagination point is like, in some applications, right? Only the people who have the access to update that values only will be that some buttons or something will be there in when they log into their application, and when they click on the buttons, right, this kind of public methods will be called. Okay, using that public methods, that private variable value will be updated. Remaining all people cannot do that. Okay, so that also protecting the object's integrity is possible. Ease of use. So directly interacting with some raw kind of data is not also okay. So if you talk about Selenium automation, at some point of time, we are going to use some XPath expressions in page object model classes, where we don't want the people even to know what XPath expression that is there inside the internal classes. We want to hide that data, and whatever the operations we want to perform on that XPath expression, for that public methods will create. That is another advantage. Okay. At the time of Selenium automation, I'll cover that. Ease of use is something that I can cover during the Selenium automation. Enhance security is something. Just now I gave you an example, like in HRMS software, HR people can update the salary, but normal users cannot update the salary. Okay, so like that. Okay, so only the people who have the access have some functionalities which will be connected to these methods inside the class, and using that they will update. Okay, remaining all will not have the access to that particular methods. And hiding of the internal state also will be done indirectly. Okay, direct interaction will not be there. We are hiding it, and what type of interactions to be done is in our hands. What type of interactions that need to be done? It may not be always getter and setter methods, guys. Okay, by looking at getter and setter methods, you may think that okay, this kind of interactions are there. Same thing now it will be looking like, but it may not be always like this. Okay, what if I say get salary plus 1000? If I say I'm writing my own logic, are you getting the actual value? Are you getting the actual value here when you're retrieving? It's up to me how I want to get it accessible. Got it, guys? Here I am saying like this. What do you think? Am I updating in a proper way? My own logic is there now. How to access this variable, how to set the value to the variable is my own logic. Okay. So generally people use getter and setter methods, but ultimately that is a different thing. Okay. So here it's all about encapsulating and restricting the direct access, and having the indirect way of accessing the stuff. Okay. Or updating the stuff is nothing but encapsulation, and that is possible with the help of private access modifier only. Okay. With private access modifier, if you combine the encapsulation concept, the things will come into picture. Fine. Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Anyone have any other questions? Guys, if you don't have any questions, just type no in the chat box. So guys, in modifiers, we completed public and private, 2 items. Tomorrow we'll continue with protected and default, and later we'll go with static, final, and abstract. We'll go slow for a while. Okay. That's okay. Few sessions I'll make it slow. So because there are a lot of concepts like object-oriented concepts involved in this. So once you understand public, private, right, protected and default easily, you will understand, and that I'll cover tomorrow anyhow. Okay, so non-access modifier, static, to some extent I already covered, final, abstract I'll cover later, and there is some more concept known as interfaces. Then we can start with Selenium automation after that concepts. Okay, fine. Okay guys, so that's all for today. Since you don't have any questions, we'll wrap it up for today for now. So let's meet tomorrow at the same time and continue with the next access modifiers, that is protected and default. Okay, till then.
Sir, one thing.
Yes. Yes,
Sir,
Ram?
like it's not regarding this, sir. It's regarding something different.
I
So,
didn't get that.
yeah, I have one requirement, sir. Like they are saying that there is a window. Inside window, we have to click on a print button, sir.
There's a window. Inside the window, you have to click on a print button. Okay.
Print button. It will open a one window, sir.
Yes, understood.
Yes, sir. Like how to handle that, sir? Like
You have to switch to that window before clicking on that button. Right? You have to switch to that window. For example, here you can see this omaya.blogspot.com application, right?
Yes, sir.
So here there is a window. Open a pop-up window. Click on that. Another window came. Here new window kind of text is coming, right? I would like to get this particular text. Assume that. Okay. I cannot directly get it because the default focus of the Selenium will be there on the default window. Okay. Even though the child window has come, the focus of the Selenium cannot see this window anymore. Okay. Even though the window has come also, the child window it cannot see because Selenium is still there on the old parent window only. What we have to make the Selenium to do? We have to make the Selenium identify this window and switch to this new window. Okay, and then perform the operation. Otherwise,
sir, but like, I'm unable to inspect that window, sir. That is a problem I'm having.
So do one thing, because we are not into Selenium automation yet, but if you still want to do, right, do you know Selenium ID, right? I covered in one of the previous sessions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Just click on Selenium ID. Okay. Then click on create new project, create some project, say okay, and say start recording, and give this application page URL. Let's say this one. Okay. For example, start recording, maximize this, then just go there where that particular link is there, which will open the pop-up window. The pop-up window came. Now here, I'll just select this one and right click here and says Selenium ID, and I'll just do something like verify present or something. Okay, like that I'll do. Or in your case, you have to click on that, right? You just click on that. Whatever you want to do, you do that. Okay, and come to Selenium ID, stop the recording, give some test name, say okay, and here come to the test, and here 3 dots will come, and here export option will be there. Click on export option, click on export, and you can clearly see what is the automation code that it has written for you. Save this somewhere. Yes. Once you save this, open that file. Open that file and check the code. Okay. Because I have not covered Selenium automation for you, I don't want to go in depth for now. Okay. So right click here, open with Notepad, you write. You'll get the automation code, what it is doing and how it is trying to write the code. You can get it from this. Just give me a second. Let it open. You see the code will be written by itself. Right? See what language it has exported actually. Public string test method is there. Driver.get manage. Okay, that's dot put. driver dot find element. Okay. Driver dot switch to dot window dot. It's using something, you see, some window ID it is using. So if what is that actually? It is an assignment or something.
No, sir, they wanted me to write one code on that. Like I'm able to navigate up to that part. Like when we click on that print button, it is opening a like PDF kind of format, sir.
Oh, PDF it is opening, huh?
Yes, sir. I tried. I watched your auto IT video also, sir. But like when I'm trying to inspect that window, it's like I'm not getting anything. That is the issue I'm facing.
Okay, I need to know what exactly that window is, then only I can tell you, because otherwise I cannot tell you, right? Is there any
Yeah.
reference for that window, etc.?
Etc. Like generally, sir, like if you click on any print window, like any print
Okay, you mean
button,
to say if you go to any application and right click here and
Yeah.
select open
Print.
print option.
Yeah, same this window, sir.
Aha, okay, this window now.
Yes, sir.
This window looks like this is Windows option. It's you cannot automate this using Selenium automation.
So I tried that auto IT also, sir. Like I watched your video regarding how to automate that. Like, even though when I'm inspecting it with auto IT, like it is not showing anything.
Elements are there here.
That is the issue.
You see that some shadow root elements are there here. Okay.
No, sir.
You have to know the concept of shadow root for this.
Okay, sir. Shadow.
Shadow root. Okay. Shadow
Okay,
root.
sir.
It's open only. You can access it. But thing is that shadow root, the concept will be completely different. Okay. I did some session for batch one already on the shadow root. Okay. In that the concept is already there. Where you can find it out is just try to understand this. Maybe you can try that out.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. I'll show you live sessions and somewhere here. You watch this session, you'll get some idea. It's not about auto-ID or something, but it is about shadow root kind of stuff. Okay. Handling open shadow DOM elements at netcode application is there, na? 19th. This 19th
Yes,
video.
sir. Yes.
Live sessions, you watch it and see if you are able to solve it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
If
Thank
you're
you,
unable to
sir.
solve, let me know. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
19th video you just watch. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, fine guys. Okay, guys. We'll meet in the next session. Bye, everyone. See you. Yeah, welcome, everyone. Bye.